Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am so glad you are here. Today I am going to talk about 3 famously haunted dolls that terrorized their owners. Dolls have a long history of being both cherished and feared. From handmade to store-bought, the closeness we share with them, whether from physical or emotional proximity, has resulted in otherworldly connections, some of which last long after death. Many individuals who have received haunted dolls from their original owners, if they're even known, report creepy tales and disturbing experiences. Dolls, known for their anthropomorphic features, can come alive in more ways than one, sometimes even dangerously. These are 3 haunted dolls that have horrified their owners and viewers, past and present. Number 1. Robert the Doll. The life-sized Robert the Doll was made in the early 1900s and given to painter and author Robert Eugene Giannotto when he was a young boy by one of Gene's maids, a woman who reportedly practiced voodoo. When Gene was young, his parents and other servants would hear the boy in his room talking to someone with a distinctively different voice, while at night, the Ottos would wake to Gene screaming in a room full of overturned furniture. Soon after, the Ottos began finding mutilated toys and hearing giggling and strange noises around the house. At first, many believed it to be Gene, who would often blame it on Robert. But as activity increased and more people noticed, some reports claim that those walking by the house could see Robert move from window to window. The Ottos felt compelled to get rid of the doll, locking it in their attic. Upon the death of Gene's parents, Robert moved back to his childhood home, and out from the attic Robert came. Rumors swirled that Gene would spend hours locked in the house painting with the haunted doll by his side and take it with him wherever he went. Gene's wife Anne was bothered by the behavior and eventually became somewhat tormented by the presence of possessed doll that Gene kept in a chair next to their bed. After both their passings, a new family moved into the Otto's house, but quickly moved out, citing that Robert the Doll had attempted to harm them. Robert remains the most infamous, and the most haunted, doll in the world years later. Number 2. Harold the Doll. One of the most verbally vicious dolls on the list, Harold is also one of the most visibly disheveled. He was created approximately around the turn of the century and has passed through many hands. It's unclear whether the doll is possessed, cursed, haunted, or something else, but various reports from those who have seen the doll indicate that merely being in its vicinity can be painful. Harold is the first haunted doll to be sold on eBay and is currently owned by a man named Anthony Quinata, a paranormal investigator and author in his right. Its previous owner expressed concern over Quinata taking the doll, but Quinata was adamant about getting to the bottom of the haunted doll's story. He brought Harold home with him after winning it on the online auction site in 2004. That persistence and curiosity lasted around a year until the doll's creepy and tormenting behavior became too much for its owner to handle. Quinata has said that the doll is guided by a dark force, unlike anything I've ever read or heard about in paranormal literature. In 2005, Quinata put the doll in a storage unit, where it stayed until 2013. After public interest in the doll grew, Quinata brought it out from storage to continue investigations into the scary doll. Investigators and the members of the general public who have come into contact with Harold have reported hearing aggressive and antagonistic voices, as well as seeing slight movement and changes in facial expression from the doll. A paranormal team, after asking to come in and do a reading on the doll, reported migraines and back pain caused by Harold. Others have claimed unexplained injuries, and Quinata even blames the doll for the death of one of his puppies. Number 3. Mandy. This antique haunted doll is over 100 years old. Since 1991, she has resided in the Quesnel District Museum in British Columbia. Mandy was handed over to the museum by an anonymous donor. At the time the doll was gifted, its former owner reportedly couldn't handle the strangeness that often surrounded her. According to the museum, the former owner swore that a baby's cries could be heard coming from the doll, its screams drifting up from the basement in the middle of the night. With time, the cries would grow so loud they couldn't be ignored, and that's when Mandy Mandy was handed over, made approximately between 1910 and 1920. This doll is made of porcelain and since moving into the museum has caused even more of a fuss. Following Mandy's arrival to her new home, unexplained footsteps were heard around the museum, lunches would disappear from the fridges and turn up in drawers. Meanwhile, office supplies like pens, pictures, books and other items would simply vanish, never to be found again. Museum visitors have also claimed that their batteries drain around the doll and their cameras light acts erratically in the haunted doll's presence. The museum claims this real-life scary doll was even confined to her own case because it would harm the other dolls around it. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe and share if possible. Have a doll day. See you next time.